I ask you a question. What shall you truly expect of me? Why? What do you expect of yourself here? Your expectations mean a lot here. Your expectations may detail the end, it may detail the journey. I'm not sure what your expectations entail. In fact, the variety of expectations is all but good. All very good, indeed. What I'm saying is, we have such a world about. Why do I need to provide solutions? Why should I? Why should one speak upon the world in a way of change, need of change, a sort of type of projection it may seem to be? Indeed, it often is. It often is of ego, often is of mirroring. But see, that is also the attraction, and that is also the masculine side of the brain, depending on what it truly is that your intentions may live with, and what obligations you serve. Not all action of expectations of the world becoming a better place, speaking upon the world, is egoic or out of reach or out of possibility. It's all truly possible. The world of freedom and love and people being fed and people being clothed is 100% possible. There's nothing that says it's impossible. Nothing, except ourselves. This idea of possibility within itself is important, because if you're truly open to all infinite awareness, you wouldn't fall to any one particular extreme or idea. And the fact that all ideas exist for a reason, and none shall be shamed. Indeed, none. Every individual in here in this world is beautiful. It doesn't matter who they are. To see the aspects of all in all is something not a lot of individuals can do, because a fixation of the mind and belief system is often not just a play on our human nature, but a conditioning of the denatured world. A truly free mind truly lives present. It's one that truly looks inside, not outside. That means not looking toward the external world, but realizes that if the internal world is being troubled by the external world, even when it seeks peace, yes, you can work harder for that inner peace, but there's a reason why that external world is giving you those internal feelings. The same goes when your intuition or your more intuitive side is impacted by the world of urgency and dependence and materialism and numbers and calculations. For I do not have to calculate these words, and I do not expect you to watch this video. But one who does may see that one doesn't need to have the perfect phraseology, the perfect topic, the perfect anything. That all often technology, even as information is doing, as one would say knowledge is power, is not so much power. It's egoic power. And doesn't really turn into anything sort of power-like until action is brought to it. There's little justice to information, little justice to journalism, and even activism. And I know that debunks pretty much a lot of things, even some stuff that I've done myself, but I fully am aware of that. It's those ironies that you seek to contradict yourself to where you learn the most and you have the most open mind. You know, you wish you can make everybody happy, but you can't. Even if you try your hardest. But why are you trying? There must be something you're saying, something you're doing. What are they doing? These individuals who are judging you. Wouldn't that be interesting? To see judging of one's character by one who claims not to do that. Perhaps. There's different perspectives of the world to which each one individual should seek to attain if they want to truly gain a grasp upon experience, such as that of which is a barking dog. Not human, not my dog, but present in the reality. Does that mean it's present at mind? Or is it being driven to bark out of sensation and desire, out of human conditions limiting its freedom, out of confusion of its own ancestral habitat? Questions, again, individuals are not willing to ask even if they have a pet. Yeah. Nothing against pets. But there certainly is questions among all actions of which we take. And I'm not proposing a solution. Because the solution is simple. It's the question. It's to be this simple question. That nature is the answer. It's a question. Because you don't have to agree with it, and you never had to. It's a word being proposed to your mind, a phrase. Perhaps not put into words that you've seen before, or ideas that you've connected before. All the thoughts in our mind are essentially questions. And I could sit here and think about thoughts, or I could speak upon the knowing. And one may say that comes from the heart or other places. I'm not here to calculate. I'm not even here to use anyone else's words or ideas. To truly deprogram yourself is to truly get the world through your own perspective. And that is hard for someone who consumes information. So it does not matter how much educated they are. They can be very well detached from themselves and detached from reality. And then very well the actions that they need to take within their own lives. Because they're living an external life, perhaps vicariously through multitudes of external elements, to which was often given to them in the modern world. See, that's why I say my words are of my own. Sure, I talk about natural law and aspects that are very much important. But it's because I have an understanding of them within my own life, to a great extent. To say I test the law of correspondence, the principle of correspondence is obviously nonsense. It's all going around all around me. It's the only reason why I can teach it. It's because it's not something I actually have to attain. It's something I simply have to understand. That's a big difference between information and transformation. The difference between attaining and understanding. Do you know of the difference? The same thing goes, very similar, in fact, you may not think it is, but it is, the difference between lonely and alone. And you're never truly alone, ever. Never. Human beings have a very interesting vocabulary. This may sound like, oh, I'm just speaking upon my thoughts. But how often do you do this? How often are you speaking on behalf of other individuals instead? Or other thoughts that were given to you? This is a reminder to which much of simplicity, of great power within itself, goes underestimated and overlooked. On a day-to-day life, we walk past things that we've conditioned even ourselves to which all that we say we've been conditioned to, we've conditioned ourselves. We should rephrase that phrase that says, we've been conditioned to, we've conditioned ourselves. To understand that we are truly in control at the end of the day. Because so many people speak in external language, sort of feeding that fire. And, of course, helping the external world is going to ask of external questions naturally. But the impact comes when those external questions seek the internal world, and therefore internal questions. Meaning there's an impact enough of the world to seek that of which is in, based on out, or out based on in. One should never discount an idea, nor any movement, because everything is moving. A tree may look still, but it is never still. A plant may look still, it's never still. A land mass may look still, never truly still. The earth is actually still. Not like what perhaps agencies tell us, but even then it's still not still. Because what's constituting this stillness? And one will come to me with a bunch of information, but again, a lack of transformation. And again, one who understands these words will not jump to the gun. They will understand. Not even necessarily understand what I'm saying. Perhaps even the seeking of it is better. But rather the seeking of their own world to which I'm simply a fellow nutrient to the seed that you carry. Because nutrients, all forms of nourishment, is everywhere in life and nature. And we are part of nature. My knowledge or understanding, because again, understanding is more important, will go to you and the seed, the soul, the being of a whole. One may say this is spiritual, this or that. They must refrain from titles too. Nature is simple. It doesn't have logos, it doesn't have symbols and all this other stuff. It's all human creation. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. That's the amazing part about human beings. But again, the most amazing parts of the world are also potentially the most destructive. Our creativity is what's driving the culture, and the culture can drive individuals mad. Even those who proclaim to be woke, because of perhaps all they know. Many individuals are making the mistake on so many different spectrums that it's only reliant on the individual at the end of the day. That one video, one audio session can never fully explain anything. And it's not supposed to. And until that's recognized, one may never truly be awake. I'm not claiming to be awake, because we're all falling to it. Am I saying it's human tendency to be asleep in this sense? Well, we need sleep to survive. We need rest to grow stronger. What I'm saying is, the dream prepares us. The dream teaches us. And we move on to the external world based on our internal dream. Am I saying to embrace that sleep? To some extent, yes. In fact, not to awaken yourself. Because again, what is this word we use, awake? A life I'd like to live is simple. There's nothing bad or difficult about this. It's simple coexistence and responsibility. And the movement of mission as message is simply to bring us there. And then from there, it doesn't matter what it is, but it could be a reminder of the past. Simple history of what all did to stand up for the natural law or for the aspects thereof of nature that calls for such question and never to be determined on any one thing, one idea, or any selecting is in control of this world. Because an idea can be proposed, but the question is if it's in control. There's a difference between if it's in control or if it's in circulation. If it seeks control or if it seeks guidance. If it seeks ego or if it seeks intuition. Again, it's actually always a level of both, and depending on how we look at it. But to keep things simple, and as simple as possible, like the dog that barks, we must express ourselves. That's what it all comes down to, is the expression of human nature. When the expression of human nature is unlimited, then nature is optimized. When I say unlimited, I mean unlimited by powers that do not be. I'm not saying they're always limited. Don't make that assumption of yourself. One may say, liberty or death. Why even think of death? Liberty's the only idea. You're already free. You already have liberty. Why you have to promote it? Is it because the rest of the world doesn't have it? Well, you have to be the change, right? You have to speak upon your being. Your being might prompt you to speak. But don't forget, your being will cause the thought of question, within the individual's mind themselves. It's in our human nature. And you may say a lot of this contradicts my own notions, and I understand where it does. But if one truly understands what is required for change, then a process and a transition is essential. And we should not keep it difficult, we should keep it simple. Again, as simple as it needs to be, nature is the answer. We need to return to what is all around us. Seems ironic, but where's everybody's minds is the question. It is not here. It is not present. That's the whole idea of presence, is to simply be here about everything that's around you. So if nature is the answer, what does that mean in that context? Nature's all around us. Man-made structures are only that of which we create in a given space. Again, though, however limited to what is man-made, all that is man-made is still of nature. See, these questions that come about are here for a reason within himself. Again, do I intend to give you all the solutions and all the answers? No. Do I sound confused upon this matter? No. I contradict myself on purpose, like I mentioned, and many individuals might not do that. But I ask of you, how can you contradict yourself? Because I bet you can, always. There's never a chance where you can't. You'll always find out that some sort of balance is necessary among everything that you're talking about. And therefore, all conversation is leading to an argument by its nature of inclusion. But that all minds, if free, truly free, will seek past inclusion and will simply be. What more is there to say, other than nature itself as being beautiful? Does it truly have to be difficult? Does it? No. It's as simple as being the change. Creating conversation. Showing a sign. That's it. Nothing more. Things will fall into place from there. But the truth must be able to be grasped. Because we've been so denatured to grasp it. We either don't know how, we don't think it's attainable. One way or another, it's some sort of denatured ability to understand itself. I could be doing this my whole life, and I will, because I see its importance. But what does that mean if everything can just get eliminated at once? It does not matter to me. This world can be redone so easily. Perhaps, or maybe not. Maybe everything is eternal. I don't say for sure. There's objective morality in nature, sure. But is there really? That's how we got deception in the first place. See. Tricky counterintuitive, contradictive. But that's the world we live in. It's mystery, and it should be kept as such. Embrace the mystery, not the truth. And the mystery will lead you to the truth, naturally.